Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a new map and a new series here on the channel. We are on American Falls. Beautiful map, I must say, in my humble opinion, by Lancyboi. I think he knocked it out of the park on this one. I love this map. This map kind of became interesting to me when we were doing our traveling contractor series, and we did some cultivating, or some plowing actually, in the rain, if you remember, and had some issues with the mud. Well, we are back on American Falls, where we, as the title of the episode states, we have $69. We've got a half a tank of gas in our beautiful rust bucket here. Gotta love this thing. The Lodestar 1600 with a flatbed. Rolled into town looking for work. You all probably know the backstory, but basically, existing farmer, had this place up and running, was doing an amazing job, was here for several years, and then one day, up and left. Took equipment, took his money, took everything, and amscrade. Well, obviously the townsfolk didn't like that too much and lost a lot of trust and hope and faith in the American farmer, and we are here to reestablish that trust, hope, and faith. I don't know why they picked me to do that, but that's what we're here for, I reckon. So we're gonna go over some of the fine details of what is going to make this map. Well, I wouldn't say this map. This Let's Play quite possibly could be a living nightmare for me, as I have enabled and done things that I haven't done before, or typically don't do in Farming Simulator. Let's get through those real quick. Time's a wasting. In fact, that's one of the things we're going to talk about straight off the bat. So, of course, we are on hard economy. We're not going to mess around, and I've made our economy even more difficult, and I'll show you that here in a minute. There's a couple of mods that are going to, again, make my life a living nightmare. Time scale, we've bumped up to 6x. That means every hour is about 10 minutes in real time. I normally play at real time, but Gen X Stoner laid out the details quite plainly on my Discord channel, and I took much of his advice. I think he wanted 10x, but I decided to go with 6x. Hard economy. I turned traffic off. That's just a small thing. I just can't stand in-game traffic for the most part. I can deal without the slight loss of immersion. And plus, if there's in-game traffic, that just gives me more excuses to mess with them, and you guys probably don't need to see any more of that. Seasonal growth, of course, is on. We are going to play 2-day seasons. I usually do 1-day seasons. We are going to double that up. That might make things a little interesting. I have no idea what that really means financially. We're going to find out, since I've never really done more than single-day seasons. Everything is on. Crop destruction, periodic plowing, field stones, lovely. Lime is required, and of course weeds, and not the good kind, are turned on. Dirt is normal. We don't need to go through every single one of these. Fuel usage I set to high. I thought that would be another thing that would make it a little bit more difficult for us. We do have the loan system, enhanced loan system, running on this map. It is a dynamic loan interest rate. As far as loans go, a suggestion was made that I'm allowed to take, I think it was allowed to take one loan out at a time, and I have to repay that loan before I can take another loan out. I think that is a reasonable thing to do. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So I think a little bit of thought, a little bit of planning may have to go into that. As far as payback period goes, I really don't know. I don't know if it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year. We'll figure that out as we go. That's the basic gist there. I don't think there's anything here we need to discuss. I have installed, let me see if, there we go. I've installed the helper admin. The advanced helper admin. I think it's called the helper Actually, I think it's just called the helper admin mod. And I've left it at, up to 6 workers. The basic price per hour is $1,000. We're going to go ahead and double that to $2,000 an hour. That should discourage me greatly from hiring a helper. Overtime multipliers, we're going to leave alone for now. I think we'll just leave those alone. Daily writing by helpers, I think that's for horses, but we'll leave that alone. So that's it. So we are going to double our helper fees. Name of the helper. Ooh, hello. I think the only problem I can see with this is, how do you know if it's a male or female? And actually, this probably should be, should we do American Falls Gwen? AF Gwen? We'll do American Falls Gwen. We'll do standard Gwen in case she shows up. And then Franz. Oh, Franz. Was it Franz and Hans? To pump you up. Was that Franz and Hans? Hans and Franz? Anyways, big old SNL skit. American Falls Gwen, regular Gwen, and then we'll do Stig. We'll do Stig Gwen. I don't know if she'll have a helmet on, but that's good enough for now. Oh, wait a minute. There's what I'm looking for, I bet. Okay, well, let's fix that then. So, how about Billy? Let's do is time moving along while I'm doing this? I think so. See, I'm already nervous. Billy Bob Philip. Billy Bob, we'll do Maurice. I don't know why Maurice. I don't know. That makes me laugh though. And Julius. We'll do Julius because I had a dog named Julius and he was awesome. Why didn't you save Julius, Franz? I don't want Franz. I want Julius. Oh, is it because of that? You stupid thing. Alright, let's try this. Betty. Franz refuses to change. Gwen. Let's see if that works or not. No, it doesn't want to save him. Andy, Philip, Franz. I don't know why it's not saving them. Giddy up. Did it say? Actually, did it save our price hike though? Oh, it didn't save that either. Well, this isn't. Oh, maybe that's why, Brad. Read the room, Brad. Apply settings. I still don't understand why I can't get names to work though. That's kind of bugging me a little bit. Apply settings. Alright, good enough. What else do we have here? Hard economy, 2-day seasons, crop destruction. Oh man, crop destruction. Loans are okay. GPS. I do have GPS enabled for the map, the GPS mod. However, I am not going to be allowed to use it when we are doing contracts. The only time I'm allowed to use the GPS mod is if we actually pay for the GPS to be installed on owned equipment. Sharing equipment. Oh, sharing equipment for contracts is okay. So if we get 2 cultivating jobs, we are allowed to take the same tractor and cultivator to do multiple jobs. That's because the city or the county owns all the equipment here. So we're allowed to use it on multiple fields. Let's see. Oh, yes. Typically, I have in the used vehicle section, I have the used vehicle mod. I don't know if that's what it's called. I don't think that's what it's called. But we are not using that mod in this game. In this Let's Play, we're going to go with the game defaults. So no extra used equipment or extra discounts on used equipment. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I do want to do lease to own. I think that's reasonable. I always like lease to own. I think that that's actually very realistic. So we are going to have a lease to own available to us. That's a mod that we will be using. And like I mentioned, the helper admin mod is in play. We came into town on this Lodestar 1600. We've got a trailer that we're living in at the moment. We own no land other than the land that was given to us. Technically, we kind of own that our trailer sits on, but we own no fields. We have no property. We're not allowed to own property at this point. Like I said, the county is not particularly trustful right now. So we are definitely going to have to do good work, timely work, to earn their favor. Holy cow, it's already 9:45. Wow. Okay. It's going to take some getting used to. I'm not going to be able to yap like oh man, it's going to take some getting used to. It's kind of freaking me out already. Well, up here somewhere, we are supposed to have a tractor. There we go. A tractor and a cultivator waiting for us. And we've got our first contract, which is this field of oilseed radish. That needs to be cultivated up, so I say we get to it. Like I said, as you can see, GPS mod is available, but we are no allowed. We are being punished for all the good times we've had in Farming Simulator so far. All the luxuries I have been given. All the simple times, the beautiful times, the times when field stones were not a thing. Well, that has all gone bye-bye. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. What do I expect? I don't expect much. At least not too quickly. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of dreaded this a little bit because I know that it's just... I know that there's just stuff here that there's settings, there's things I don't like. You know, let's face it. If you had to play one of your, in fact, not one of your, but your favorite game, probably of all time, especially in the simulator universe, and you were told that you couldn't play it the way that you like to play it, we're gonna break this field up because it's a really weird shape. So we're just gonna do what we want to do. But if you were told, nope, you're gonna play it our way or the highway, I mean, that's not fun. That doesn't add pleasure to your gaming experience. But I think we'll still have a good time. I think what has me probably the most concerned out of all of it is, and it's going to sound probably kind of weird, maybe a little funny, odd, but the restrictions on GPS for me are not pleasant at all. I'm a big GPS fan. You know that song by Dire Straits, I want my MTV? Well, I want my GPS. And after you all watch me, my unpracticed driving skills without GPS, you're probably going to be thinking the same thing. In fact, this may be, now that I think about it, this actually may be more of a punishment for you all than it is for me having to watch me deal with some of these restrictions. Crop destruction doesn't exactly excite me either. Now, I've got a little bit of I'm a little bit okay with it just because I know that it always looks worse than it really is with crop destruction, as far as you're not losing as much as you kind of think you might be losing. And it's like when I harvest fields or mow grass or plant or whatever it is. If you've watched the channel long enough, watch my gameplay, you know that I'm not Mr. OCD on the fields. I will leave round corners where there are square corners. I will leave little bits and pieces behind because I have over time proven to myself that those little bits and pieces don't add up. How is it that Chris Farley says? They don't add up to jack squat. It always looks like you're losing more than you really are. So I'm going to go with that philosophy when it comes to crop destruction. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but at the same time, I know it's going to bother me. I know it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to see tired, because inevitably it's going to happen. I'm going to absolutely wreak havoc on some fields. And since I never do use crop destruction, I don't really know the nuances of it as far as how the game treats it with hired helpers. When we do hire helpers, do they wreck your fields? I think by default they don't, if I'm correct on that. I think there's a mod out there that enables crop destruction by hired helpers, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think there is. We're going to open this headland up a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe we'll turn traffic back on. I don't know. It does seem kind of weird to not have any cars ever going by. Seems a little desolate. We do have the pedestrians, but I don't know. It's kind of weird not having cars. Maybe we'll tick traffic back on, and maybe that will make things a little worse for me. So how's your week going? I hope it's going well. I did do an extra finale on Tranquil Waters. I just didn't want to leave it the way that we did with all those crops on sold and stuff. It just seemed a little bit sad to me. So I wanted to throw one more in. We did pretty well on Tranquil Waters. I mean, walking away with what, 16.5 million, I think. I think after I sold all the equipment, I think we ended up closer to like 19, which isn't too shabby. Of course, those were the good old days of easy economy. Yeah, those were the good old days. So Fieldstones, I don't even know what to make of Fieldstones. I don't know. I'm not going to let them bother me. I think, doesn't the game, and again, this is one of those things where I have not played with Fieldstones since maybe the first month or two the game came out. I was trying them, and since then I've been Fieldstone free. But if I remember correctly, the intention of the Fieldstones is to hurt your equipment, right? It causes more damage to your equipment if the large stones do. I don't know if they actually hurt your yield rates. I don't remember. See, I'm not going to impress the local townsfolk by missing all that lovely oil seed back there. They're not gonna look at me and say, "Good job, Brad." We're here to earn trust. Yeah, I guess that guy that that ran the show before, I guess for a long time he was like the best dude ever. Like he was a single dude, no family. I mean, he was kind of that man's man. People wanted to be him. People wanted to date him. Yeah, I guess he was quite the dude. He was a musician. I guess he had a lovely singing voice. There were a lot of good things. People spoke very highly of the guy up until he ran off with their money and their equipment. Kind of stinks. But we're going to fix that. We're going to bring this place back. It's actually in really good shape. Even the farms that have been left vacant since I think there are three or four farms in this map. I forget, but they're actually in pretty decent shape. And fortunately, he just left. He just took stuff. He didn't destroy things. So that was good. He did not go out of his way to actually destroy property. He just took property. Nobody knows why either. It's a very, very weird situation. I've been trying to get more info out of the townsfolk as to what happened. People are a little bit hush-hush about it, which I can totally understand. I'm certain they probably feel like they were, taken advantage of, and that never feels good. They actually weren't even they weren't really that interested in getting somebody else here to do work. They were considering doing more development, maybe developing a lot of the land for like housing, apartments, stuff like that. They were also considering just bringing in contractors and letting them do all the work. That way they didn't have to really deal with issues. If they didn't like the contractor, they could fire them or they could call a different contractor. But we came to an arrangement. I basically get housing. Little plot of land, I get housing, and I get paid per job until we can establish, well, not just establish financially, get financially sound, but also establish a bit of trust with the town folks so that they let me expand my own farming enterprise. I am using Better Contracts mod, which if you haven't used that before, it's a great mod for contracts. I wanted to take advantage of the Better Contracts mod as far as offering more contracts than the game normally does. However, just to make sure that I wasn't going to be accused of making life easier on myself, I will show you this actually here in a second. Typically, it's at this particular moment that Brad would hire a helper to continue to do the field work here, but since that is going to cost me an arm and a leg, I don't think we're going to be allowed to do that. So the Better Contracts mod, which is great, allows you to do some adjustments. And I actually lowered the reward to 20%. I lowered it 20%. So our reward for contracts has, not only is it lower because of economic difficulty, but I also added on top of that a lower reward according to Better Contracts. The mow and bale reward I also lowered. Lease costs I actually bumped up. I don't know if the standard was 10. I bumped it to 20% so that it's going to cost us a little bit more to borrow equipment, or as my Canadian friends would say, borrow. Consecutively active contracts, I think that's default. I don't think I changed anything on there. The rest of it, I think I pretty much left alone. Lazy Farmers. I did activate Lazy Farmer. And I think based on what the information here is, all this does is it just gives even more possibility of more contract selections. So it basically tells the NPC, hey, don't do work on the side. Leave that field work to me, please. And I think it's probably a good idea that we do that, just because of, I don't know how. That's the other thing too, is I have no idea how running 2-day seasons is going to impact contracts. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I don't know. Do you all play 1-day seasons, no seasons, multiple day seasons? I can't imagine playing like 10 or 15 or 20-day seasons. I think it would be interesting, but I think it would make for an exceptionally long year. Especially in the wintertime when you don't have nearly as many things to do. And I think that's maybe where multiple day seasons must be harder financially, right? Because, or does the game adjust for... So you know how when you sleep through the night and you move on, typically with a single day season, you sleep and then you're on the next month, you get charged for, let's say you have things on lease, you get charged again, you get charged for property taxes, maintenance fees on things that you've placed, buildings, and so on and so forth. If we're playing 2-day seasons, do we get double dipped on that? Do we get the same charges only twice now? Or does the game break it up so that you're getting 50, will we get 50% one day, 50% the next day? Because there's supposed to be monthly charges, I believe. So I would think the game would be smart enough to say, this guy's playing 2-day months, so we don't want to charge him. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Hopefully. All the things to find out, right? I can't believe it's already 11:30 game time. I mean, this is going to be a 1-day job. I didn't set any restrictions for work hours. I don't know if we need to do anything like that, if we're only allowed to work between X time and X time. I mean, I don't generally like to do night work, especially if I'm recording. I just don't think it's as pleasant to watch or fun to watch. I guess some people might like it, but I think in general, you know, you don't get the beautiful scenery that is Farming Simulator. But I could see us possibly doing some night work if we are in the home stretch and need to take care of business before time runs out. I'll tell you what, if I own this field, the first thing I would do is plow through these stinking little islands they've got going on here. Like, what is the dealio? What is the thought behind having these these little islands here. I do not get that at all. That's just a waste of space. So if we end up buying Field 22, these island deals, these long runs there are going bye-bye straight away. If we can afford a plow. That's if we can afford land. Holy cow. I gave some thought. There are a couple, 2-3 different mods out there for how property is dealt with in the game. I gave some thought to playing around with a couple of those, but the one that I kind of like the most could quite possibly give us an advantage. But you know, at the same time, it could also give us a disadvantage. I forget what the name of that mod is, but it basically adjusts property values, so you don't always have the same cost for the same land. But yeah, these things here, yeah, forget about it. That's silliness. I don't know why those would have been there in the first place. I don't know why they were never taken care of. I guess we could call Miss Dig, and maybe there's something buried underneath this area of the field or something like that, and they don't want it plowed up, or they're worried about plowing it up for some reason. I don't know. But that would be, boy, that would be a gimme. You know what? We're here. Let's just go ahead and take care of this corner while we're here. And we're going to break a utility pole. That's not going to be very nice. They're not going to be happy with us on that. I like this New Holland. I've always liked these T7s and T8s. I think they're a pretty sharp tractor. I like them better in person than I do in the game. There's something about the color in real life, the look of a New Holland, in my opinion, that looks considerably better in real life than it does on the game. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's somehow that color blue just isn't in the game. It's just not quite as poppy as it is in real life. I think I don't know if this is an older version or if it's an option or what the deal is, but I thought the newer New Hollands, I thought they didn't have this dashboard behind the wheel anymore. I thought they had the dashboard sat up in front of the wheel now, so that it was never. So I don't know. I thought so. Maybe it depends on what model. Maybe it depends on what model you get. We're just gonna cut right over this island. Screw that. Like I said, I'd plow those things straight up. That would be the first thing to do. Man, I have been getting a little bit more into American Truck Simulator. And I'm starting to catch that bug once again. It's piquing my interests quite a bit. I know I've mentioned before that I was having a really hard time getting RTA mods to update all of my trucks to the latest game version, because I think I own every single one of their mods except for I think 2 of them that came out since I stopped kind of playing American Truck and Euro Truck. So I've got some money invested in their mods. Their mods average about $20 a pop. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I ended up with some VIP status and got some discounts on a couple of their mods. So I don't think I always paid full price. But nonetheless, I got some decent money wrapped up in RTA mods, and I have been trying for the last 2 or 3 months to get them to send me updates for all my trucks. And I honestly think something's broken with their update process on their website. They've got a couple different ways you can request updates, and I think it's broken. So eventually I ended up coming across an email address for their support team, a Gmail address, and I wrote to them. And hey, like I try to teach my kids, like I was taught, kindness is always the way to go, especially when you're trying to get somebody to do something for you. It amazes me the number of times I have seen people be complete jackasses when they want somebody else to do something for them. And I'm thinking to myself, did your parents not teach you anything when you were growing up? Do you not know that human beings typically respond to kindness much better than mean and rudeness? So I have tried through my life to maintain that, even when I'm frustrated. And it's difficult, as we all know now, to sometimes get your meaning across with words on emails and texts, because things can be taken wrong very easily when you email somebody or text somebody, if you don't go out of your way to make sure that they understand that you're not trying to be a jerk, blah blah blah. But don't do this. I got this guy. I won't mention his name, but I work with him. And he's one of these dudes that believes that you can pretty much say anything you want on an email or a text as long as you put a smiley emoji and a smiley face emoji at the end of the sentence. Like, I truly believe this guy thinks that he could rip you a new one and then at the end of the sentence put a little smiley face on there, and that's just supposed to make it all that much better. Don't be that person either. That kind of person sucks. Smiley face. But anyways, long story longer. Got a hold of this support email. And I mean within, I don't even know if it was 2 or 3 hours, I got an email back saying, make sure you check your spam folder. And then immediately my gut kind of sank, like, oh, Brad, have they been sending you updates and they've been going to your spam folder? Because then I would really feel like a schmuck, because I always forget to do that. Fortunately, that was not the case. However, it was the case that it was in my spam folder this time. Excuse me. And they've got a good way of doing it. They send, I don't know if any of you have ever used the site Mega. It's basically a secure file transfer, file store. It's like Dropbox and the hundreds of thousands of other services out there. But I think Mega, I don't know if they are, I don't know what their specialty is, but that's what RTA Mods uses. And it's kind of handy because they set up an account for you, and then they just drop your updates into a Mega folder, and you can download them whenever you want. And sure enough, every single mod that I wanted an update for was was there and ready to go. I was super happy about that because these are really, really nice trucks they do. If you don't mind paying for mods, and you want high quality supported mods, RTA mods has been around for a very long time. And even with all the struggles I had getting the updates this time, excuse me, I would still highly suggest their mods are exceptional. They are absolutely exceptional. And you get a discount if you buy them for, you know, both games, for American Truck and Euro Truck. You can buy models just for one or the other, but excuse me, but if you play both, it'd be cheaper just to buy the model for both. They've got a couple of cab overs that I absolutely love. They've got both the Kenworth K108 and the K200. Not really American rigs. I think once in a while you can see a K100 in America, maybe, or whatever it used to be. But they are absolutely stunning models they have done. They've got an amazing, excuse me, they've got a Peterbilt 359 that is, yeah, buddy. They got a 379. They've got, what is it, a Western Star 4800. I think it kind of reminds me of an Aussie truck, a truck that you would see on those Australian road trains. That thing is epic. I don't know, some people, it can be a touchy subject for some people with paid mods. I don't understand that. I really don't. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. That's one thing I've never understood, is why people complain that these people want to charge for their mods. I mean, I'll take that. I'll tell you what, I'll go along with that line of arguing. Those people that like to complain about that, they're just upset because they want it for free and they don't want to spend the money. Let's just bottom line it, right? Well, I'll take that argument and just say, hey, to those people, I'd like you to mow my lawn for free. I'd like you to shovel my driveway for free. You know, why would I pay you to do that work? I pretty much would expect you to stop by my house and rake my leaves for free. It's just nonsense, these people that complain. You know, nobody's making you buy them. There's plenty of other mods out there that are free. Some of them are better than others, but there are plenty of them out there. It's a good thing we're wrapping this up because I feel a rant coming on. I feel a down and dirty rant coming on. But yeah, I think we are about ready to wrap this up. I bet we're actually completed a while ago, but I'm going to make this a little pretty for our... I mean, it's our first job in American Falls. We should probably make somewhat of an effort, right? Let's check our contracts out. I should have done that a while ago. I always like to check the progress of contracts before I get too far, just in case something is horribly broken. $3,464 contract. Of course, we had a lease cost of almost $1,000. Again, thank you, Better Contracts, and for me for making that even worse on ourselves than it needed to be. That's okay, though. We need to earn our money, right? That's what this whole thing's about. We might want to hold off. In fact, I am not going to complete that contract quite yet, because we might want to take a peek ski around American Falls for any other cultivating contracts that might be available. Since we have the equipment handy, I think that would be a smart move. It would cut down the lease cost of our equipment if we can spread it over 2 or 3 or 4 contracts. All right, everyone, that is it for this first episode of American Falls by Lancyboi. Thank you for joining me. I hope you will enjoy the series more than I will. I actually think we're going to have a lot of fun. Money will be slower to come in, but you know what? That's okay. We're still farming and we're still having a good time. Make sure and take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday. And we will be back here tomorrow for some more fun in the sun. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tranquil Waters. Tranquil Waters by Lancyboi. Yeah, that's what it is, Brad. Nice. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're not coming back. How can we come back to something that we haven't been to yet?